Welcome! You're watching Sound Off, new weekly music reviews with your host, Red Jags. This week on Sound Off, Bayside by Authority Zero.
For the taking, we always seem to be living for tomorrow. If you can clear your head and just swallow, our time here is all just borrowed. So let me see. Just take a deep breath and count to three. All that matters, what steps are willingly. What's your next play? What should you say? 'Cause I don't know quite honestly. Just take a deep breath and count to three. All that matters, what steps are willing to be. What's your next play? What should you say? 'Cause I don't know quite honestly. Truth gets in the way, and you face the awful ugliness at bay, and you tell yourself, hey self, it's not okay. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in the way. Let's face facts, yeah, you're barely alive. Come to think of it, you're practically dead inside. It's no surprise you don't fear it, so long as you can hear it's calling out. I'll tell you what, I don't know what's worse, drowning out here or dying of thirst. Take a deep breath, counting 1, 2, 3. Take a look around and walk through all I see. Wake up, it's a new day breaking. It's been a long one, let's just face it. Hold on, 'cause the walls are shaking. This could be it, could be yours for the taking. But there comes a time when the truth gets in the way, and you face the awful ugliness at bay, and you tell yourself, hey self, it's not okay. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in the way. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in the way. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in the way, and you face the awful ugliness at bay, and you tell yourself, hey self, it's not okay. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in the way. Yeah, there comes a time when the truth gets in. There comes a time when the truth gets in. There comes a time when the truth gets in the way.
We just took a look and a quick little listen to Authority Zero's song Bayside. Now, for anyone who is not quite aware of who Authority Zero is, before we get into the actual review and talking and getting more into depth about the song and reviewing it as a whole. Authority Zero is a local band from Mesa, Arizona. They have been around from approximately 1994 until currently here, present. And just before anything, fun little fact about Authority Zero for those who might not remember. If you remember a quick little blast from the past called Tony Hawk's Underground. Now for those who might not know, for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 being remastered, you know, looking forward to that too. But Authority Zero did feature on Tony Hawk's Underground, their song Every Day, which was actually really, really cool. I went ahead and actually just listened to that before, and it's a great song. I completely forgot like how good that song actually was, but just thought you guys would be a little interested in that. But Authority Zero is kind of formed together by members Jason Devore, Mike Sparrow, Danade, and Chris Daly. A little more information about them. If we were to talk about their earlier albums, everything more along the lines of A Passage in Time from 2002, Andiamo from 2004, Rhythm and Booze from 2006, and then you're kind of bringing a little bit more closer towards 2007 2017, 2018. If anything, we're going to be looking at more albums around the one we actually listened to, Broadcasting to the Nations, from their song Bayside, but also as well from R&B 3 to Persona Non Grata from 2018 as well. These are all albums personally that are a little bit more of my favorites because it kind of adds a little bit more into their overall style, I guess you can say. A reggae, ska, punk rock kind of band. I know Wikipedia said a little bit more, but you can't really trust Wikipedia. So from the genres I found to be more relatable, definitely punk rock, definitely a little ska influence in there, definitely huge reggae influence in there. There is some ska punk in there because of the upbeat chords that they are playing. There is a little surf rock in there. I'm not sure how many people are really tuned in that close, but some of their songs are more, or can be identified as surf rock. And then obviously there's some alternative rock thrown in there as well. But the one thing that I really like about Authority Zero is that the fact that they are able to kind of compile and mix and intertwine different genres and subgenres into a punk band, which is something I personally really, really like to see. It makes the band a little bit more unique and makes them stand out a little bit more. What even makes it stand out even more is Jason Devore's voice in general. When you hear his voice, you know for a fact it is Authority Zero. But getting a little bit more, I guess, more in tune, more into detail about Authority Zero as well. Some other similar bands that I personally identify Authority Zero with are bands like Strung Out, even another local band called True Rivals, who I do not believe are currently around anymore. But these are two bands that I really do see Authority Zero relating to, not only based upon the style of music they all perform, the way they work on their lyrics, just the overall composition of the music itself and the band as a whole too. But you know, some things, Strung Out, Authority Zero, bands like this, what it boils down to and what it reminds me of personally is more of early 2000s Warped Tour. You know, when times were really, really good, people were crowd surfing, people were moshing, people were in the giant circle pit. You have like balloons everywhere. You had like confetti blasted everywhere. People are happy. People are in the zone. Like, they are literally living out childhood. And plus, you're also living out childhood because you're listening from a band from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as well. So, I mean, bringing that back up. But before anything else, I do have a little bit more to go into detail about the band before we do get into the review. But I do want to take a very short minute here just to personally thank Jason Devore, Mike Sparrow, along with their manager as well, for Authority Zero, for allowing me to go ahead and review a song of my choice for you guys. Something I actually did want to mention, Bayside was a song choice of mine that I did actually create a recap video for. I believe it was in Flagstaff at the Green Room for Authority Zero. I believe it was a show also with FOL, who's local here from Tempe, Arizona, Undefined from Prescott Valley. You have John Ghazi as well as the Supervillains as well. Which was actually really, really cool show. If you guys ever want to go ahead and take a look at it, I'll post a link down below so you guys can go ahead and watch the recap video for yourself. So another thing to kind of go more along the lines of Authority Zero as well, Bayside as a song is probably one of my, or if not one of my all-time favorite Authority Zero songs. Now, I understand there are a lot of albums, considering they were a band starting from 1994 until the present right now. So if we're looking for everything from a passage in time all the way up to where we are right now. Broadcasting to the Nations is personally more along the less of my favorite album. Now, that's not saying, because I do love A Passage in Time too, because it's very nostalgic. It brings back a lot of high school memories. Music-wise, high school itself sucked, but it brings back a lot of really good memories for me. It brings back a lot of good, hype, really good energy. It reminds me once again of early 2000s Warped Tour, when everything was at its prime. Something about this song in particular really stands out to me. Every time I listen to it, it gives me goosebumps. It gives me chills down my spine. It just makes me really, really happy overall. And it makes me want to play music. It gets me pumped. It makes me just more active than ever before. And I don't know if anyone else really personally feels the same way about any of their songs in particular, like how I feel about Bayside in general. That's just something I wanted to put out there because, like I said, it is probably my all-time favorite song of theirs. Now, that's not saying that the rest of their music, in my opinion, is not good in any way, shape, or form, because that would be false. Their music is phenomenal. It is. Just not all of it is personally for me. I like more of songs that really have that really sing-along feel to it, that has really good guitar hooks, that catchiness level is beyond any... I don't even know how to word it. It's just perfect. When you hear it and you're like, yes, this song delivers properly. Just other songs, they're more influenced, obviously more towards that reggae ska tone and kind of more of that upbeat, chill vibe, which is completely cool because it works beautifully for Jason and for the rest of the band in general. But it's not really, I'm not a big reggae person in general. I do love ska and ska punk and stuff like that. Reggae, I feel like it's a little bit harder for me to get into, but it works for Authority Zero. Like I said, obviously we're all going to have our ups and downs depending on what songs we like or what albums we like the most. And let's be honest, there's a lot of bands out there that some albums just don't do as well as others because they wanted to try something different. They wanted change. And, it happens. But the thing is about Authority Zero is that they managed to change it up a lot without really losing who they are as musicians and as a band as a whole. And they always properly deliver to their audience. I personally believe that the band overall always seemed to give the audience what they were looking for. And even if they didn't know what they were looking for, they still got it, which is very, very difficult to do. But that's going to stop that little talking part right there because I want to get a little bit more and broken down into 4 characteristics that I will be reviewing that's going to make up the score for Authority Zero's song Bayside. Now, what it's broken down into, what I did personally, is lyrics, catchiness, vocals, and energy. Now, just before anyone says anything, these are lyrics and vocals are separated because lyrics is more based upon storytelling, or how you're actually writing, what the format is like itself. Are you writing like a journal? Is it more poetic? Is it more something else? Vocals overall is how does Jason's voice portray the song? How does it deliver? Is it more powerful? Is it more soft? Is it more raw? Where is the emotion? Is it more emotional from his vocals, or is it more emotional from the lyrics, or is it a little bit of both? So that's what I wanted to explain just before we actually do properly get into this. But I do have some scores actually set already that I took a time to, just really think about it. So number 1, lyrics. Lyrics I thought were absolutely great, but I am very, very picky. Sometimes I don't even know how to really describe it. It's just a little something that's not really 100% connecting with me. That's not saying the lyrics weren't phenomenal, because as we know, they were. It's Authority Zero. Of course it's good. But for lyrics, I did give it a score of 8.5 megaphones. Once again, it's because I personally believe it was missing a little something. As much as I absolutely love this song, that's the score I would give it. Number 2, catchiness, 9.5. It's easy. The song's very, very catchy. It gets stuck in your head. That's catchiness as a whole, 9.5. Like I said, I can't quite get it a 10 because I don't really personally believe, a lot of songs really deserve a 10. It's really, really hard to give anything a 10, as you probably heard in the last episode. But yeah, catchiness, 9.5. And then vocals, I did give it a 9. Now, the only reason why I gave it a 9 is because if you look back towards earlier 2004 from A Passage in Time to where we're currently standing for this album, for in 2017? Yeah, 2017, Broadcasting to the Nations album as a whole. Jason's voice has been improving significantly, as it should. The older you get, the more skills you have, the more everything just becomes better, right? That's why I gave it a 9, because his voice in this one fits beautifully. There's a little bit of that rasp in there that he is known for. It still has that little bit more upbeat in it, but there's not so much ska and reggae in it. It's just pure skate punk, in my opinion. Skate punk, pop punk influence in there too. It's just good old-fashioned punk. Now, that's not necessarily the genre alone that gives it the 9. It is Jason's voice and how he always improves on his vocals, his vocal techniques. You can clearly hear he was warmed up and ready to go for this and delivered 150,000%. That's the reason why I personally believe his vocals in the song deserve a good old 9. Energy. Now, once again, I know it's hard, but energy I gave a 10 because you can place yourself in the song. Now, what I mean by that is it kind of gives you a visualization in your own mind that you are seeing and listening to this song live. That goes personally for me. Every time I hear this song, I feel like they are playing right in front of me. I get the feeling of just them on stage, all the power, all the raw energy and emotion that's coming from the instruments. You can feel even through this recording. And to me, that is extremely important. What also is really important is the fact that they sound exactly the same live playing this song as they do the recording, which is also very, very difficult to do because not many bands can pull that off. But energy, I would actually, honestly, give that a full 10 megaphones. So overall, if we look at the medium here, we are looking at the music around a 9.25, which honestly I think is pretty accurate. Definitely more than above average. Like I said, I personally absolutely love this song. I love the album as a whole, and honestly, it's just a great song and an amazing band. But that is all the time we have today for this episode. Once again, to Authority Zero, thank you guys so much once again for allowing me to review a song of my choice of yours. Anyone watching the video, if you guys want to go ahead and take a listen to Authority Zero or any more of their music, all the information and links will be listed down below in the description. If you want any other information as far as their merchandise or anything like that, that will be listed as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Until next time, sounding off.